Hi, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. In today's video, I will show you how I created a foundation piece Easter egg using electric quilt. As an added bonus, I'll also show you how to put another foundation in the middle of that Easter egg. To get started on my Easter egg, I really wanted to find an image of an actual egg. I find it a lot easier to trace than to just draw looking at a blank surface. So I went on the internet and I found one, but I need to do a little bit of modification before I can use it. So I'm going to go to Work on Images. I'm going to import the image, and I actually had saved the image in my EQ Images folder, so I'm going to bring in my web egg. And I'm going to start by cropping the egg, so I want to get rid of the white spaces. So I'm going to select the crop button, and I'm just going to bring the four sides to match the four sides of the egg. And once I have a crop I like, I green arrow, which will accept the crop. And then the next thing I want to do is I actually want to flip it. So I'm going to use the twist function, and for this one I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. And I'm going to select Fit to Work Table, and I can see my image. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and just add that to the sketchbook. Now when I view my sketchbook, I can see my image in the Photo tab. I'm going to just edit that to the block work table. And so it is now showing up as an image in my block work table. So I'm going to start now with my foundation by creating a new block, and I'm going to do this one in Easy Draw. So Block, New Block, Easy Draw Block. And my goal that I gave myself is to create a foundation where I can do it with one section. So in other words, we're going to start in the center, work our way out, but we don't have to put any sections together. So I'm going to draft this as a 6x6. I may end up actually piecing it smaller than that, but that's good for drafting. And then for the snaps, I'm going to go ahead and just set them at 16 horizontal and 16 vertical. I'm going to do the graph paper also because it's going to help me to be able to keep things symmetrical as I'm drawing here. So to start with, I'm going to set my snapping options to snap to grid, and I'm going to turn the others off. And you're going to find as I'm working with this, I'm going to sort of keep moving things in those snapping options. So when I do foundations, a lot of times I like to start from the outside and work my way in. And so thought I would start with that straight item there. And now I need to think about how I want to partition the corners. And a lot of it is how many partitions do I want, because I can get things more rounded by creating more divisions, or I can come up with something that's relatively close, and it gives the illusion of an egg. And I think that's what I'm really going for here. So I'm going to start by moving this, and again I'm still really just connecting grid points here, and what I'm doing on one side I'm going to repeat on the other side. So I'm trying my egg symmetrical at this point. And then for the bottom here, I'll do that. And repeat that same thing on the other side. And then for the next one, I'm going to need to turn off snap to grid points, but I'm going to snap to line and arc of drawing. So this is going to allow me to select a point that is not on one of those grid points that is there. And again, I'm still trying to relatively match my left and my right side. And once I have my basic egg in, I can go to the color tab and I can color my egg and also then find something for a background that I can color. Now I'm going to add that to my sketchbook, but I also want to take a look at the foundation. So I'm going to print my foundation pattern, and it's starting with number 2 in the center or number 1 there. I really want to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and change my numbering, and I'm just going to put it in the order I want to do it. So if I do 1 and then I do each of my corners, and then do those 2 outside, I think that's more to how I would want to piece it. So let's just take a preview. And you can see here's my egg with the foundation. Now, let's say I want to do something more with it. One of the things I thought about was, what if I tried to put this as sort of a frame for another foundation block from the library? But I'm going to need to make a couple of modifications before I can do that. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my tracing image because I don't really need that anymore. And then I am going to create a square in the center here. And so I'm going to have to do a little bit of counting for that. And so I'm going to make that 8 across. Oh, and I can already see my problem. I need to switch it to snap to grid points and turn off snap to line. So I'm going to go ahead and just do an adjust on that, get that snap to the grid points, and then I'll select my line tool and count 8 down for that too. Now, I think I'm going to move everything up 1, so let's go ahead and use the pick tool. And I think I like that better. Now, for the frame, I still have to get things to basically move out so I can successfully create a foundation that this can work around. So I'm going to take that first image and I'm going to use the shape tool, and I'm going to pull that out one more grid point. Now I want to show you something because you're probably going, well, the line is extended too much. But when I go to the color tab, it's actually going to slice it off at the line. So it's sort of a good technique for doing that. Now I also need to do the same here. Now the interesting thing there is because I went out to a line, it's actually going to create lines there. But if I zoom in which I'm going to do, and select the pick tool and select that, I can go ahead and do it. And I'm going to move over to the other side and do the same. So now if I go back and I'm going to zoom back out, I have sort of at least a frame for doing a block within a block. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to the sketchbook. Now, if I want to put a foundation, let's say from the library within that block, I'm going to go to the libraries, go to the block library. I'm going to go to a foundation pieced section, and I'm going to try to find a foundation, again, that only has one section. So, let me just pick a pineapple block here, and I'm going to pick a fairly simple one to get started, and I'm going to add that to the sketchbook and close. Now I'm going to do a block, and I'm going to select Serendipity, Merge Block. And I'm going to select this as my background block. And then I'm going to select this block, which will actually put it inside. So now I can add that to my sketchbook, close. And if I view my sketchbook, go to the block tab, go to that last one and edit. I'm going to go ahead and recolor it. And once I've got a block I like, actually maybe I'll even make those corners yellow, I can go ahead and add that to the sketchbook as well. Now I'm going to take a look at my foundation for that one. And I, again, don't like the starting point, so I'm just going to go ahead and change my numbers and just start over on doing that. And now for my egg and the background. And I'll do a preview, and I now have a fun way to decorate some Easter eggs. Thanks so much for watching. I would love to see any Easter eggs that you have drawn. If you would like, feel free to post them on the On Point Quilter Facebook account. For additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com.